Miss Forster. Come on. Come on now. Wake up. Wake up.
In a minute. In a minute. Hello, dear.
Are you all right?
Of course I'm all right. You wanted to see me. What did you want to see me about now?
It's nothing important.
Then why are you here?
Well, it's lunchtime. I thought you'd care to join us for lunch in the staff room.
Oh, no. I always bring my own lunch. Budgie likes me to eat with him. Perhaps you'd care to join me for lunch. Maybe you'd like to share my sprouts.
Sprouts?
Yes. Bean sprouts, carrots, beans, onions. Raw food, dear. It keeps one alert. I thought I might try it. I've been feeling a little bit tired of late.
What, have you been having trouble sleeping?
Yes, I have. Lately. Touch of indigestion. Oh. I must say I prefer them in soup. Would you care for one?
No, Miss Forster, I won't rob you of your lunch. I'll bring something back from the kitchen.
Did you see her?
Cancel that order for a doctor, would you, Wendy?
What about the ambulance?
You rang for an ambulance?
Well, Miss Bennett said...
Well, cancel it. Quick, smart.
But is she all right?
You know, there's nothing like bean sprouts for keeping you alert, Miss Bennett. You should try them.
Well, she is all right.
Did you know that people who eat raw food don't panic like people who don't?
Could you stop fooling about? What happened?
She fell asleep.
Calls herself a social worker. She's mad.
You mean she's done nothing about you seeing Josie?
Nothing. It slipped her mind.
To think we used to bitch about Mr. Reed.
We was lucky, but we didn't know it.
How'd you go? She's punting?
Not yet, but she's nibbling at the bait. It won't be long before we hook her. Hope you know what you're doing. She could end up being into us for heaps, you know.
The minute she goes over the kitty, you refuse to pay.
Why don't you just let me bash her?
Bash first, think later. That's your problem, you know, Margot. If you're responsible for us spending one extra week in here, you'll regret it.
Yeah, but I don't know how much longer I can hold out. She welched on me, you know.
Will you turn the record over? You've already given her a glass hamburger. That ought to hold you for a while.
She'll go berserk when I don't pay up.
Then just make sure there's a screw around when she does.
Right, pack up for lunch now, ladies.
Heard anything yet, Mrs. Jackson?
Not yet, Lizzie.
Don't think old Davo's let me down.
Oh, she doesn't often do that.
I wrote to her, you know, and I said there's no show without punch. She promised me she wouldn't let them start until I got there, but I can't get to see that glimpse.
What do you want?
Settling in?
I won't be here that long.
Well, what a shame. We don't get many like you in here. When there aren't many who can wipe out our work release program with one hand and lose a 7 days remission with the other.
I gave you a choice. Pay up or I'd report you for attacking Vince Talbot.
Aren't you just a little bit nervous? I've seen people marked for life for less than you've done.
Are you threatening me?
Not really. Just putting you in the picture, that's all.
Yes, well, just don't make a move or I scream for the warders. They won't let you touch me. And you don't scare me either, you great fat cow.
Smith, what are you doing here?
She's throwing her weight around.
White, go and have your lunch. I'm warning you, Smith. The governor is in no mood for trouble.
I won't be here for that long. He'll be here long enough. You bitch.
When I was first in welfare, it was a different story. I've seen many a man hand his children to the department because he couldn't afford to feed them. They didn't try and keep families together in those days. They just shoved them into foundling homes. And if the parents couldn't afford to bail them out, well, they just became wards of the state, lost forever.
How long ago was this?
After the war. Oh, I was fighting fit in those days. I took on the children's department time and time again. Of course, it didn't do my career any good. Girls half my age were promoted over my head. And now, all I've got to look forward to is one more year, and I retire. And you know what? I can't wait.
Well, at least you've used your life. You haven't wasted it.
Do you feel you're wasting yours?
Yes, sometimes. I could put up with this job when the wife and kids were alive because, well, I was doing it for them. But now they're gone. I don't know, I just feel as if I'm just going to work, going home, going to bed, going to sleep. And sometimes I wonder why I bother at all. You see, when the boys were alive, I had something to plan for, but...
But you're a young man. You can make a fresh start. You can and you will. As far away from here as possible.
Well, there's not much demand for deputy governors these days.
Hold on. Where is it now? Yes, the Government Gazette. Have you seen it?
No, not that one.
Yes. Oh, yes. Here it is. Barnhurst is in the market for a governor. A nice little quiet prison. Just the sort of place for a chap like you who wants to get away from it all.
Governor, eh?
Miss Forster was supposed to have a reputation, you know. A legend in her time.
They should have retired her years ago.
But she's still only 59. She's got another year to go.
So she's going to doze it away here. I don't see why the department should dump all its rubbish on Wentworth. That doddering old fool's no good to anyone.
Well, she wasn't much use to Lizzie. Well, either she's past her or just doesn't care. I don't know which. You seen what she's done to her office?
Yes. But I can't see that she's going to create any more problems than Paul Reed did.
But at least Paul was efficient. This one won't tackle anything more involved than boiling a kettle.
Well, why do we have to have social workers here in the first place? The criminals don't need coddling. They need discipline. Now, if I had my way...
I know, Vera. You'd string them all up by the thumbs. You going straight home after work?
Oh, I suppose so. Why?
I just can't be bothered going home to an empty flat. Why don't we stop off and have a couple of drinks at the local?
Well, I'd like that, yes. Thanks.
And so I showed him. I went down to the pub, straight into the men's bar, with the baby in my arms and two of the children clutching at my skirts. And when I said, "Where is the father of these two children?" and his mates pushed him forward, I said, "Then why aren't they properly clothed and fed?" Well, he was ropeable. He reported me.
Miss Forster, Mrs. Birdsworth has been given leave to see her granddaughter in hospital. I have asked Mrs. Jackson to make the arrangements. This was your job. I hope in the future you will deal with such requests with a little more efficiency.
That Erica. She has a hasty tongue.
What time is it now, Bea?
5 minutes later than the last time you asked me.
Oh, Dave, I must have done something. I've got to see Josie. What if she goes under and she doesn't wake up again?
Well, there's not much likelihood of that now, is there, Lizzie?
Awful things can happen to little kids.
Lizzie?
I'm off. I'm ready, Mrs. Jackson.
How did you know you could go?
Oh, there's a big smile on your face.
Come on, Mrs. Huntley's waiting.
Doreen, is there any way it could be Kevin's kid? Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
Maybe you could make him believe that it was.
He can add up, Bea. He's not stupid.
Well, you could make him believe it was premature as long as the two of you got together soon.
Oh, sure, and they're going to give us the bridal suite.
Paul Reed said you might just crack it for an overnight pass if you had a good enough excuse. Starting a family just might do it.
Mr. Reed's gone. By the time that old witch gets her roller skates on, the kid will be going to school.
Bypass her. Go direct to Davo.
I couldn't do that to Kevin, Bea. I just couldn't.
All right. But what's the alternative? Bypass her. Go direct to Davo.
I couldn't do that to Kevin, Bea. I just couldn't.
All right. But what's the alternative?
Where do you think you're going?
I want to see Mrs. Davidson.
You've been in here all this length of time, and you think that you can just drop in?
I was going to ask when I found somebody.
Well, you found somebody.